Ever since I was about 14 years old, I've been critically addicted to this little thing called nicotine. No, I'm not proud of it, but as I got older and started to make money and started to do business, I kind of realized that I think I owe a majority of my success to my addiction, and I'm going to tell you guys why. If you look around every single day, every single person is addicted to something, whether it's their phone, whether it's scrolling, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's junk food. Every single person in the world has an addiction. The difference between people that are successful and not are the people that choose their addictions, the ones that can actually understand that having certain addictions can make them a disgusting amount of money. No addiction is ever good, and rich people understand that. They understand that if they're going to get addicted to something, they're going to get addicted to the thing that makes them more money or makes them more productive. And this is something that I kind of realized after having an addiction for a long time. So like I said, no addiction is good, but this video is literally going to be based on how to create an addiction to make more money in your bank account consistently. How I accidentally kind of did this process. An addiction at its core is basically something that when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel normal. You are not at homeostasis until you do something. Until you do something every single day in the morning, you do not feel normal. You don't feel like your right self. So if you wake up in the morning and you need nicotine to feel normal, that's your addiction. If you wake up in the morning, you're addicted to alcohol, you have the shakes, until you drink alcohol, you do not feel normal. So it's basically something that you just don't feel like yourself until you do. So people can get addicted to anything. They can get addicted to running. They can get addicted to working out. You can get addicted to literally anything. So rich people just choose what to get addicted to. They literally rewire their brain to get addicted to something that's going to propel them forward, even if it's not the most healthy thing in the world. With that being said, the industry that I chose to pursue goes hand in hand with addictions, which might not be a good thing, but it's really good for your bank account. So just sit here and watch this video to potentially rewire your brain to make a disgusting amount of money. So addiction works in 3 steps. Number 1 is you get a cue. You get some sort of signal to do whatever your addiction is. If you're addicted to the gym, if you drink pre-workout, you're going to want to go to the gym. That's your cue. So basically you have to find a cue to do whatever you're addicted to. The business model that I pursued for the past year and a half that made me a disgusting amount of money was high ticket sales. And if you guys know anything about sales, watch Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, it's pretty much hand in hand with a lot of addictions. And the reason is because it's such a high dopamine activity, which can be a good or bad thing. At the end of the day, high dopamine activities create addiction. Over time, I got addicted to sales, which sounds really weird because sales is a super high stress industry. But let me break it down for you. Addiction basically works in 3 steps. It goes by, you have a cue. Something signals you to actually do whatever addiction thing you're doing. Step number 2 is you actually do whatever the addiction is, whether it's hit a vape, drink alcohol, whatever. And then number 3 is you get the reward. So basically every day I would wake up, I would drink caffeine and I would do nicotine. That was my cue to start selling. I didn't realize this at the time, but as I look back, I wake up every day, that was my cue. So I learned over time that every single time that I would start to hit caffeine and nicotine, I wanted to start to sell. The reason being is because when I started to sell, I would make a little bit of money. So that was my reward. So every single day I woke up, I would drink caffeine. I still do this to this day. Drink caffeine, I pop a Zyn, and then I start doing sales. I start to try to sell people. And the reason is because I'm looking for that reward. I don't feel at homeostasis. I don't feel normal until I do that activity, until I make a little bit of money. So over time, over the past year and a half, I've realized that I fully became addicted to not just nicotine and caffeine, but that dopamine feeling of making money in combination of that cue. Rich people, they do something called addiction hacking. They literally do something to their brain where it rewires them that they don't feel normal until they make money or until they do something productive with their life. It's the same reason why bodybuilders are literally beyond addicted to working out. They literally can't sleep until they work out. They don't feel normal till they work out. It's because they've been trained to get that reward. Working out, it's like getting a pump or feeling good at the end of the day. Whatever that reward is, you have to make sure that whatever activity you're doing, especially in business, is giving you a fat reward. I'm beyond lucky or blessed to fall into the sales trap because it's the highest dopamine earning activity, which means that you can get addicted super easily if you're good at it. So when I started doing sales for the first time, I just did caffeine because I thought it would help. I was already addicted to nicotine and caffeine. So I'd wake up, do nicotine, caffeine, and usually with my day-to-day, I'd, drive around, go to the gym, go to my job, whatever it was, and it wasn't that rewarding. But now, once I did nicotine and caffeine and did sales, I would make money at the end of every single day. So every day was like extremely dopamine heavy. So over time, that's all I wanted to do all day long. And I could not sleep, I could not eat, I couldn't do anything until I made like $500 to $600 a day, which sounds absurd, but that's just what my body ended up getting addicted to. Now I start to get the term of like workaholic, like, oh, I don't feel good unless I work all day. I never understood that when I was like working at a restaurant or doing something like that. It was always entrepreneurs that said that. And now I finally understand it because once you do something productive that you like doing, you make money, you see the money, it's so easy to get a dopamine hit from that you easily get addicted. Started to kind of catch on to a pattern that was like, okay, every day I wake up, I have caffeine, I have nicotine, I want to sell. what's going to make me want to sell more? So every single time that I sold a deal and I made money from a deal, I would use nicotine. Okay, so I'd pop another in every time that I got a reward or I made money or I closed a deal. I would pop another in, and then over time, that's what I was craving. I was literally craving the combination of getting money on a deal plus that nicotine, and that's what I craved all day long. And that's what extremely increased my income from like 10K a month at 20, 25K a month at 21, and now I just hit $75,000 in a single month, which is absolutely absurd. It's because I'm addicted to that feeling. I'm addicted to the feeling of closing a deal plus that nicotine hit, which at the end of the day, this makes sense why successful people do this little like addiction hacking thing. A lot of people do this because they know it makes you productive. It literally makes you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do anything except get that feeling. I think a trait that a lot of entrepreneurs have and people that I've met that are super successful is they are obsessed with something. And obsession is basically addiction in a different word. I used to be obsessed with the gym. I used to want to go to the gym every day. I would wake up, I'd drink pre-workout. That was my cue. I didn't realize it at the time. That was my cue to go to the gym. My reward was getting a pump or whatever it was. That is something that I used to be addicted to. Now when I wake up in the morning and I drink caffeine or anything like that, the only thing I think of is closing a sale, because that's a higher dopamine hit than getting a pump at the gym for me. So you just have to find the thing that is so dopamine maxing for you. And like I said, I'm super blessed to be able to find an industry that makes me money quickly, that makes me motivated to wake up in the morning and actually do work because I know that I can get rewarded immediately. What is the long-term effects of this? I have no idea. I'm just worried about growing my bank account right now, and that's why I'm talking about it. If I were to start in an industry to make money online, like drop shipping or day trading, I wouldn't have the patience to sit there and wait for a dopamine hit because I just wouldn't be motivated. I tried a drop shipping store, it didn't work with me, and it just wasn't motivating enough for me to get addicted. But when I had sales and I closed my first deal within like 2 to 3 days in high ticket remote sales, it was something that I was like, okay, I can wake up tomorrow and do this again. That felt good. I want to do that again. I want to make more money. And then over time, as I got better, it got easier to make money. I had more dopamine hits, and then I got addicted to it. This sounds kind of corny, like getting addicted to making money, but it's genuinely like it's a physical thing. It's beyond doable to happen. So how can you guys start a healthy addiction? How can you start an addiction that actually moves your life forward and doesn't just like ruin your bank account? How can you start something that's going to help you in the future? So what I recommend you do is the first thing is have some sort of cue that every single morning you do, whether it's wake up every day and put pre-workout in water, do something that cues you to do that routine. Okay, so for the first week, let's just say you want to do fitness. Okay, every single day have the same routine. So you wake up at 8 o'clock, by 8:30 you're putting pre-workout in water, by 9 o'clock you're on the way to the gym. Over time, you're going to start to feel that reward. You're going to start to want that reward really bad. Once you do that cue, start to visualize the reward. Start to visualize what you're going to feel after you work out. Start to understand that if you do this every day, you're going to feel a reward. You're going to feel a pump by the end of this workout. And then over time, once you do start feeling those rewards, it's just going to be a routine. It's going to be something that if you don't do that every single morning, you're not going to feel like yourself. You're going to feel weird. When I first started doing sales, I didn't necessarily want to wake up and do 50 dials a day, do 100 dials a day. But once I celebrated my first win and I made $500 in 30 minutes, whatever it was, that just was a huge dopamine hit. You have to celebrate those wins, post them on Instagram, just have somewhere to track your wins so you can literally feel them. Once you feel your wins combined with that cue, you do the routine every single day. It's literally just a matter of like 2 weeks before you're full blown addicted to it. It's the same reason why like hard drug users literally get addicted after their first hit. It's such a dopamine inducing activity that you have to replicate that with something productive, whether it's fitness, whether it's business. And for me, luckily sales was that thing that I was getting so many dopamine hits. I was making money every day, even if it wasn't a gross amount of money. If I was making $75 a day, but I know that I made it that single day, then it was just something that I fell into a routine. It's the same reason why I kind of liked my serving job, because every single table I would get a tip. I'd get a dopamine hit every single table. So once I started to do that on a higher scale with more money, it was just a matter of time before I got addicted to it. As you guys know with addictions, they only get stronger, they only get heavier, the bar only raises. So once I was making $50 a day, I wanted to make 100. Once I made 100, I wanted to make 500, then 1,000. So at this point, it's literally only growing to where I'm not satisfied unless I make 1,000 to 1,500 bucks a day. I don't feel good unless I make that amount of money, and hopefully it grows. And like I said, this is not a video about mental health. This is not a video about long-term effects. I'm just telling you guys how I use this addiction hacking mindset to be able to grow my bank account. Pretty gross amount of money at 22 years old. If I can recommend anything to you guys, and you guys are strictly on the make money online wave, what I would do is I would copy the exact thing that I did. So I'd wake up in the morning. Well, first of all, I'd get a setting job, get an appointment setting job. If you guys don't know what appointment setting is, you can look it up. I have a bunch of videos on how to get an appointment setting job on this channel. Get an appointment setting job and then start a routine out of it. Okay, so basically wake up every day, do caffeine, do nicotine, whatever you have to do to cue that routine. Once you do that, do 50 dials, do 100 dials a day, close as many deals as you can, and then use nicotine again to reward yourself after you've done that. This is gonna be the quickest way. I've also seen multiple people similar to me get addicted to sales without even realizing, because they followed that exact path. I highly recommend you do that. Get an appointment setting job, use caffeine and nicotine. I'm sorry if anyone's watching this and doesn't use it. Do whatever you want, but this is just what I did to grow my bank account. Do that. Over time, you're not gonna feel normal unless you make X amount of money or unless you do X amount of sales in a day. That is the quickest way that you can grow your bank account and actually enjoy your life while doing it. That's what I would recommend. Addiction has such a bad connotation because a lot of people do pointless addictions. They do stuff that ruins them instead of helps them. So that's not the enemy. Aimless addiction is the enemy. So if you can just put the effort that you put into scrolling all day or whatever into something that you actually want to do and actually is like motivating for you to wake up and pursue, you're gonna win. There's no way. I haven't met a single successful person that isn't obsessed with what they do and enjoy doing it every single day. So once you find that thing through addiction hacking or whatever you want to call it, you're gonna do well. But hopefully this cleared up some stuff and you guys learned something. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.